edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices, going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Meansy, this piece of trash right here, too. Plus, you get access to our nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop, plus where the best lines are at. And most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? It is my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks. See all these picks there? All those picks, all these picks, all those picks, all the picks. So many picks. Dean, I bet a lot. So I decided to upload some of them to, what's it called? To Action Network. That was it. You know how many picks I had yesterday?
You had 47 picks.
68. And it was a light day.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it didn't go great.
Aren't you like the number? I'll say it for you. Aren't you like one of the number one ranked guys on there?
I'm up there. I don't do it that often, but yeah. I was the top baseball guy. I think I still might be the top baseball guy. But yeah, I on sharp side, I was the best one ever, by a wide margin. But yeah, the Action Network. I just don't do it often enough.
Yeah, I feel like I should start doing that just to see like where I've jumped on that app before a couple of times, but I haven't actually either if you're gonna you got to be all in, you got to be committed. What's the point of doing it like once a month? Is sort of my thought process.
I mean, I go in one. I have so many bets that I go in once, twice, 3 times a month.
Okay,
and then just like on Friday, on Saturday, I think I went 16-2, something ridiculous like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, I'll just let it ride, being one of the top bettors over the last month just off of 2 days. Maybe I'll go in today, maybe I won't. But, I mean, it's just all how much time I have. But I got a lot of bets today, so probably not going to have as much time as usual. You ready to get right on in?
I just wanted to – can I derail the show right out the gate? We were talking about this pre-show about the Matt Ryan situation. Just found out before the show started that he's getting benched with a shoulder strain. And like you were talking about, like, I think it's a fake injury. And it is a fake. Like, look, everybody's got a shoulder strain.
I don't think it is.
I got a shoulder strain just watching the NFL for 8 weeks. Everybody has a shoulder strain, right?
He's 40 years old and has been sacked more than anyone else in the league.
You're missing the rest of my point, though. Here's the rest of my point. Ready for it? The report is that Sam Ehlinger is going to be the Colts starting quarterback the rest of the season. So, yeah. Come on. Everybody's got a shoulder strain. You don't sit the entire season with a shoulder strain. Sorry. He's just gone. That's it. They've seen enough.
I mean, it's tough to be worse. They have to. Trade for Gardner Minshew. That's what they should do.
Where is Gardner Minshew? In Philadelphia?
I want to say he's in Philly.
I don't know. I can feel like. By the way, I went on playerprofiler.com, to see the closest comp to Sam Ehlinger. I don't watch a lot of college football. Do you know anything about Sam Ehlinger? Who would you guess his closest comp is? Well, this is optimistic if you're an Indianapolis fan. His best comparable is Chase Daniel. So there you go.
Yeah.
Ehlinger season.
6th round pick. I mean, at least the Panthers got multiple quarterbacks as backup plans. It's just, yeah.
Shout out to the Panthers and man.
Nick Foles is the number is there. Put Nick Foles in.
Yeah, this is the year of the great demaise. Of all the staples for the last 10 years.
Brady, Rodgers,
Foles. Matt Ryan. There's another one too. Aaron Rodgers. Did you say him?
Yeah.
They're all done. This is it. They're all gone. This is the year of the great demise.
Is there one more? Russell Wilson.
I said Russ, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got bets to talk about. All the bets here are up on the screen, so if you got them right here. First one, James Harden over 22.5 points, minus 113 over at Caesars. We currently have him projected for, let's see, 23, so just slightly over. I like this bet a lot. He's been pretty solid so far to start the season. Over 30 points in 2 of the first 3 games. The one game where he didn't get over, he shot I think 2 for 14. Harden's been solid.
I've been digging into DFS stuff throughout the day as far as the Philadelphia tonight. By the way, the 0-3 Philadelphia 76ers lost to the Spurs. They should be very, very thankful. Doc Rivers should be very thankful that the Phillies are doing their thing, because the people of Philadelphia will be rioting if the Phillies were not doing their thing. It's a shame.
Phillies are doing their thing, and also the Eagles are doing their thing.
Yeah. And even I think the 70. What do they call it? The Flyers are playing pretty well too to start the season. But it's embarrassing. But they should, in theory, absolutely shellac the Pacers. What's most interesting I found, Philadelphia this season, slowest team in all basketball as far as pace, and Indiana is the third fastest.
Yep.
So the up in pace here, I think, I don't know what odds we can get as far as a triple-double, but if you're not getting points, like Harden's going to crack assists. I think he smashes tonight. I think he's got a really good shot at a triple-double. I don't know what the odds are. Maybe they like plus 250 or something like that. I don't know what we're getting these days on Harden triple-doubles.
Let's see.
But I just see him smashing tonight, and he's been good. He looks more svelte these days. The demise of Harden, he's not Russ Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. He's still doing his thing. He's still a pretty solid.
Yeah, he's still solid. Like he's solid on the offensive end. He's just solid overall. I'm pulling up the triple-double for Harden is plus 460. One thing I'm going to bring up FanDuel. One thing to always realize when you're thinking about betting triple-doubles, sometimes it's better to, like, you can just go rebounds and assists. You do that, and
build your own.
430, which, what did I say? 460. So, yeah, I guess you can just, 460 isn't terrible over FanDuel. Always price shop. Always go and price shop. I also have Embiid over 29.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I have Embiid over 29.5 points too, minus 106 over at Caesars.
Yeah, his shots have gone up every single game throughout the year. He looked kind of sluggish coming out the gate, but like 25 shots he got up last time. And, you dig into the numbers again. The matchup is phenomenal here against Indiana. They're without their best defender, the abdometer, no Miles Turner. Sometimes you just got to look, right? You got to say, you can look at the numbers all you want, but then sometimes you just say, look at this Indiana roster. Isaiah Jackson, Jalen Smith, Gogo Batadze. You think these guys are going to slow down Joel Embiid? Joel Embiid should absolutely smash. He should annihilate. The only thing that's going to keep Embiid and Harden doing their thing is a potential blowout. And historically speaking, the 76ers tend to play down to their competition. Like they always the games are supposed to blow their opponents out. They tend to just kind of lead them around for a while. I love Embiid and Harden both, assuming this game stays fairly close. Now, the Pacers are actively trying to lose games, so they just don't care. The rotations are a mess. It's a disaster. But I love both Harden and Embiid to really hit their ceilings if this game can somehow stay close.
Yeah. And then I have same game, Maxey under 2.5 rebounds. Main thing is it's plus 140. That's just bad odds over at Bet 365. Next game, Tyler Hero. I have over or under 19.5 points. Butler under 23.5 points. And I have Gary Trent Jr. under 18.5 points, minus 115, 11, and 120, respectively. This is going to be a slower pace game. I know they just played each other, and it was actually a little bit higher scoring, but I'm not expecting that again. Butler has hit the over on this 2 out of 3 games this season, but he also hit it only by the hook in 2 out of 3 of those games. I'm not expecting the same production in this one. Hero has been very good so far to start the season, but to me, this is a little bit too high. I think the RG projections actually dislike this one, but I don't care.
I dislike it too. I dislike it as well because I also think there's a really good chance that Scotty Barnes doesn't play tonight. He's currently questionable right now. They're getting Boucher back, but that's not a 1v1. Boucher in the different positions as well too. But I think that Trent's going to be asked to play 36, 37, 38, maybe 40 minutes tonight. Wouldn't surprise me the way Toronto squeezes their rotations. Not certain that Barnes sits, but I would say it's more likely than not he does not play. And then as far as Hero jumping in the starting rotation, obviously, and Miami is thinner than they have been all season long. Oladipo is out. Nikola Jovic is out. Of course, Yurtseven's out. But Caleb Martin got suspended too. So I think Hero gets asked to do a lot in this game. And I know, on paper, it's not a great, this is an awesome offensive matchup from either side. I just think that it's going to condense. So I'm with I don't know what the RG projections say, but I don't like betting under on Trent because certainly he's got to put the ball in the bucket, but yeah, I don't like the unders there. And I think that Hero gets leaned on pretty heavily tonight.
That's entirely fine. I could be wrong. I mean, like I said, RG projections are against the Hero one. They're about on par with the Gary Trent Jr. one, although I think, yeah, Trent Jr. has moved to 17.5 in some spots. So
what if Barnes doesn't play? Because he's right now currently projected to play.
yeah, if Barnes doesn't play, I'm sure that goes up, and I don't know if he does, but again, we'll see. I could be wrong. I also have Siakam under 9.5 rebounds. That one I think is just too high. Tough matchup going up against. Yeah, RG projections are with me on that one, and the lines moved pretty drastically. It looks like I got it at -115. It's -136. Probably wouldn't take it there, but 9.5 rebounds too high going up against Miami. Miami's a good rebounding team. And I like the under there.
Is there anything out there by chance on Precious Achiuwa revenge game? Because he's the guy that would benefit pretty significantly, I think, as far as minutes if Barnes doesn't go. I don't know. It's probably not out there. He
doesn't have a line.
Okay. Yeah, he saw a big jump in his minutes last time out. Now, granted, somebody got ejected from that game. What was it?
Well, is Precious Achiuwa going to get that much with Boucher coming back?
I think he's ahead of Boucher.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Next game, I got a lot of bets in this game. Cole Anthony over 5.5 assists. I think he's going to be dishing the ball out more with Banchero there. Wendell Carter Jr. under 14.5 points. There's just too many mouths to feed even without Suggs. That line's just a little bit too high, -100 or +100 over at Superbook. And then my favorite bet on the board today is Paulo over 18.5 points. You get +102 over at Superbook, +105 over at Sports Illustrated, and then I think MGM has it at +100.
I was looking at Banchero's usage rate this year. It's really, really good. It's elite. 31.2% usage. If you jump back to last season, just for some comparables that people don't know what that means. 31.2%. That is Devin Booker 31.3, Tatum 31.3. Last season longest mark. It's elite. It's elite number. He's just stepped right in, and he is the best guy in the team, and that's that. Like, he is the guy. So I like that. I'm with you as far as Banchero. And if you think the rookie cares about playing in the Garden, historically that's like a thing that first game in the Garden. You probably play there a good bit with Duke, I imagine, or at least as much as you can in college. But I like that call. I can see him getting shining a good bit on Orlando.
Yeah, it's by far my favorite bet on the entire board. On the next game, got a few bets in the Utah game, which should be a fun one for betting. Jordan Clarkson under 5.5 assists, -110 over at DK. Clarkson, I mean, he wants to shoot the ball. That's what he wants. He wants to shoot the ball. He has hit the over on this in the last 2 games, but second in a back-to-back, I think this number is just a tad bit too high. Jalen Green over 3.5 rebounds, -136, just low number, basically going out projections there. And the interesting one, Jared Vanderbilt under 10.5 rebounds, -139. RG projections have him at 7.4, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get 25 minutes. He just happened to just get ridiculous amount of boards the first 2 games. I think 14 in 25 minutes and 12 in 30 minutes the first 2 games. Second end of back-to-back, numbers too high.
Vanderbilt's a really good rebounder, and the thing with him is that he's fouled out. He fouled out the very first game of the season in 18 minutes. He had he's been foul trouble all season long. And some quick math: he's got 16 fouls this year in about 70 minutes.
Yep,
which is just wild. That's insane. And
yeah, he also has 30 rebounds in about 70 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to sustain, but he is a good rebounder, really active on the glass.
Yeah, but I mean, 10.5 is just too high for a guy that's probably going to get in foul trouble, probably not going to play 30 minutes.
So I think you might have just caught a break because I was just going to, actually you, and the news just dropped. Let me see if this is correct. Let me see. No, it's not news just dropping, but so there's speculation out there and nothing's been said just yet. It's a back-to-back. Utah is playing, they're pulling it's like Major League when the team's winning and the owner wants them to lose. They're winning too many games. And This is a tankathon game that could matter in theory if the Jazz do what they're supposed to do going forward. You want to lose to the Rockets is the point.
Yeah.
So goofy things can happen. It's a back-to-back. Mike Connolly, in theory, should get moved. They could move that contract of his. I don't know if he plays tonight. I think there's a really decent chance he sits in the back-to-back. Injury management, right? And that's the tricky part where maybe a guy like Clarkson gets some more minutes. We'll see. And you're right. Like, he wants to shoot, obviously. Shoot first. That's his mentality. But he might have to play a little bit more of a point role if Conley does not play. And again, this is all speculation, but I think Conley sits.
Yeah, that very well could. I think they could just run 12 guys out there going up against Houston.
Well, I think they've been playing 10 guys, and like Sexton might jump into the starting lineup, and I think he's an interesting over because Sexton's a guy that
he's Jordan Clarkson 2.0.
I'm not a Sexton guy. I think he's like you said, volume shooter. He wants the chance. He hasn't really been given it so far. Just 20, 19, 18 minutes his first 3 games. They traded for him, of course, a part of the Lauri Markkanen game. Markkanen's been phenomenal. Olynyk, when he's not in foul trouble, has been great as well, too. But I think if you can get something on Sexton, I think it's an interesting speculative play. And also, like, the matchup against Houston is awesome. If the line is based upon him getting 20 minutes, is there anything out there on Sexton? Because
I don't see anything.
If you can find something on Sexton, like Sexton overs, I'm going to jump on Prize Picks and see if there's anything out there on that. But again, it's all speculation. The season's just starting, but I really think there's a good chance Conley doesn't play tonight. Maybe somebody else too.
Yeah.
Maybe Clarkson sits. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But I got my bets out there, and I can't change them now. I could cash out, but only losers cash out. Actually, there are certain sites that, like MGM, as long as the line hasn't moved, you can cash out. So if you hear someone is out and you can get the cash out button before it moves, then you're good. Best player in the league, who's lost me the most money out of anyone in the league so far. Desmond Bane, over 17.5 points. There is a chance that Brooks ends up playing. I think it's slightly more likely that he plays. But 17.5 points is too low. Like, Bane has been shooting. He's just been shooting awful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely terrible. And still getting close to getting there. 17.5 points. The line's gotten low enough that even if Brooks plays, I don't care. Minus 120. Let's see where it's – might be lower than that somewhere else. Nope, minus 120 is still the best line.
Yeah, that's another one. If Dylan Brooks plays, man, the other night, Ja just absolutely annihilated. And Ja unders I think are in play if Brooks is ruled in. We did see that over the weekend. I want to say it was Saturday that Brooks was ruled in, and at the last second, he was not the last second, but he was ruled in, and then he was pulled out closer to lock. So. I suggest
I think it's more likely that he plays, but 17.5 is still
that's what I think.
It's a solid line. Like, again, Bane has just been so, and plus it's going up against Brooklyn. 2-point spread, 230 total last time I checked. It should be good. It should be a good scoring game.
Brooklyn third worst defense so far this year, for what it's worth.
Yeah, and then I have Morant over 29.5 points. He's just been dominant so far.
Would you pull that back if you saw Brooks was in? Because his usage takes a hit when Brooks plays.
It does, but 29.5 is still low enough. I don't care.
Okay.
Devin Vaseline, as I like to call him, because he's just slipping the ball through that hoop. I don't know how I feel about that. That fun. But Vassell, over 16.5 points. I've hit this every single game this season, and sportsbooks just are slightly catching on now. It was 15.5, 15.5, 14.5, and now they got up at 16.5. The guy is there's 2 guys in that lineup that are going to score. It's Keldon Johnson and Vassell. 16.5 is way too low. Our projections have it 17.76, and I think that's too low. They're assuming a blowout in there. So against Minnesota, it's going to be a fast-paced game. Gobert's going to be eating up the inside, so Vassell's going to be shooting threes all game long. It's just a terrible line, and I'm going to keep hitting it probably for the next week because sportsbooks are way too slow to catch on.
Yeah, assuming this game stays close and assuming he's not 1 for 8 from 3, you should be fine.
Yeah, he had one bad shooting game, and that's it. He shot 3 for 15 in the first game. That's it. Matchup versus Minnesota, he's going to shoot all game long.
That is it's Vassell, like you said, the big body Keldon Johnson, Pirtle on the inside, but otherwise there's not a lot going on with San Antonio. San Antonio, another team that is disinterested in winning basketball games this year. At least the front office is. The players are still trying. Like I think it's worth noting, like when you say teams are tanking, the players are still trying. Like it's not the best players and not being put in the best position to win. That's all. But the effort's there. The players, they're doing their best. They want to put good tape out there, if nothing else.
Yeah, Jalen Green is still putting up monster numbers most nights, even though Houston is trying to actively lose.
Well, he cares. Like if you watch it, he's fun, by the way. He's won me over. I was not a Jalen Green truther when he first started, but he was like 19 or 20, whatever it is. It's wild. He's still really, really young, obviously.
This is only his second year in the league.
Is he 21? How old is Jalen Green? He's still really young.
I think he's 20.
But he's taken some steps forward. And like he like if there's any doubt, like he cares. Like he's emotionally into the game. He wants to do well. And he has a great time out there. He's fun to Houston, like like league pass games, league pass teams. They're a top 5 league pass team. I enjoy watching the Rockets.
Yeah, I mean, and realistically, like they have a lot of good pieces on there. They just get like a good 3-and-D guy and a superstar, and they could actually compete. I
mean, they got KPJ, who I don't know if I want to be my second best player, but like he's useful. Green still getting better. Alperen, Şengün is. Everybody wants to make this guy the next. I mean, not Jokic. There's no, you can't just become like something like that, right? And certainly there's some talent there. Jabari Smith, looks, promising rookie. People love Tari Eason. Like he looked great in the summer league. He's another one that people have their eyes on. And like you said, if they can get another piece or two, and also Boban's on the team just for fun. Like he's there.
If they gave him 20 minutes a game, then they would be the best team to watch on.
I mean, he would break. He's like 34, Boban. He's more of a locker room guy these days. He did play a few minutes the other night, for what it's worth, but Boban season's just over. It's not happening, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it was fun. I enjoy. He's always a blast. But Houston's just like the Astros. I mean, different sport, obviously, but the Astros had rebuilding for several years, and one of the worst teams in the league. Different process, obviously. One guy in the NBA can turn your whole organization around, but similar thought process as far as organization. I think they're on their way up.
Yep. Next guy, Michael Porter Jr. over 15.5 points. Like people forget how good of a shooter Michael Porter Jr. is. Like,
great stroke.
Yeah, just one of the best in the league, realistically. And people forget that he's only had 2 seasons, and they weren't even full seasons.
He's got a back.
Yeah, he's got a back. The injury is the main concern, and he's a turnstile on defense, if I remember correctly. But we don't care about that because I have the over of 15.5 points. He's averaging 18 so far this season. He's going to get 12 to 20 shot attempts, which is more than enough for this to pay off any given time. He's going to shoot from beyond the arc. He's averaging 8 shot attempts from three-point land so far this year. Going to continue. Like, now that they can't just focus on Joker or Murray, like it opens things up for all 3 of them. So Porter Jr.
look at that, right? Because he's gonna. I'm assuming I haven't dug in. I'm assuming his usage is less this year than it was when it was. Well, he barely played last year, right?
Barely played last year, and he was just terrible when he was playing. But I mean, shot attempts so far this year, 12.3 per game, playing less minutes. So it's pretty similar usage to what he had back in 2020. He's not a guy that's going to try and create his own shot and try and do a ton and put up 20 shot attempts a game. He's a little bit more someone else can help create the shot, which works perfectly for Joker.
Yeah, I mean, it's Joker's team. Murray's back, obviously. And then, he's the third guy on this team. Well, yeah. I mean, Murray is coming back slowly, but he's the second player for sure. Then it's Porter, and then it doesn't matter if they're at.
Yeah.
You going to a game anytime soon?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Football season's just so tough.
Yeah.
But probably DK limited me pretty drastically. So that was, and they sent me a new VIP rep. So I'll see if I'll text him pretty soon and see if he can help me out.
What about a Broncos game, by the way? If the Broncos were playing in your backyard, would you go? Would you open the blinds?
Yes, I would.
It's got to be an Allen game, though, right? It's got to be like a Sunday night or
Thursday
night. Yeah, Monday night. Yeah.
What am I going to do? just hammer the under. And then
what just miserable experience that game yesterday.
Last basketball bet, Jokic over 7.5 assists. I don't understand why it's at 7.5. We have projected for, I think, like 9.
You got to pay a lot of juice in that, right?
135.
Yeah.
So not
it should beat it. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't projected for 9 over at bet 360, and it's minus 135 at bet 365. I mean, Jokic is going to hit this 7 out of 10 times, in my opinion, making it massive positive ROI.
By the way, never mind. I was gonna go back to the Matt Ryan thing. Reich said the move would have made no matter what, injury or not, for Matt Ryan. So yeah, I'm looking on Twitter again, just kind of seeing anything change, and that kind of popped up in my stream. So yeah, R.I.P. Matt Ryan. Go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's basketball. We got some football bets. Don't understand any of these. I understand one. David Montgomery over 10.5 receiving yards, minus 110. I know Herbert's going to take a little bit more of a workload, and they're going to go hot hand, but he's hit this in every game he hasn't gotten injured this year. He had this, like, his average longest reception last year, his median longest reception was like 12 yards. Like, that's just longest reception per game on average. And he hits us at a massive clip. Like, it's going up against the Patriots. Bend don't break offense. There's going to be dump offs in Montgomery. 10.5 receiving yards is way too low.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I did not do any research in this game at all. I'm not doing any content for it. Basketball, I've been all over this morning. I know the Bears are playing New England, and I've been following the football season, but that's about all I know beyond that. I don't know if there's anything else out there, but that does seem too low. Just like knowing nothing else, that just seems like too low of a number.
Justin Fields under 24.5 pass attempts. He's only hit the over once this season. I mean, minus 105 over Betfred. Cardi, I checked out the blitz. I always cross-reference things with the blitz. He's on the over, but the under is just it's the under. Although I do have the over in Justin Fields' passing yards. He's averaging over 8 passing yards per attempt. Last few games,
though? It's got to be kind of low.
156.5.
Yeah. Is it like basically like minus 110? What is it?
Minus 110, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of game we're in line for tonight. That's, it could be ugly and he could still get there. I'm thinking about this game being not a ton of plays. So you mentioned Cardi. I'm pulling the blitz game level factors.
Oh, it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be a low amount of plays. I wrote the Showdown article today.
Okay.
And
run heavy, the clock moving.
If I were going to mass enter, I honestly might lock in Santos and Folk.
Is this like a defense and 2 kickers showdown slate kind of winner?
Yeah.
And we're expecting Mac Jones back. Is he officially back, or I know he's projected?
I believe he's officially back.
Okay.
He might.
And Harris is too. Okay.
Yeah, Harris. I have the under of 52.5 rushing yards. I don't expect him to give him a full workload right away. Like Stevenson, I think he'll be the 65% back in this spot here. Just because they would likely won't have any reason to use Harris too much. So I hit that. It's under 52.5 at FanDuel. I think it moved to 51.5. But I'd still take that. Let's see where it's at anywhere else.
We could see like a similar situation. I know it's 2 different situations, but like yesterday we saw with Dak, coming back a soft matchup versus Detroit, not asking him to do too much. I imagine that's the same thing here with Mac Jones, right? Coming back, soft landing. What does he really have to do to beat the Bears? Home favorite, 8-point favorite. It's going to be mostly Stevenson and Harris, and I'm sure he'll throw a few passes here and there. Obviously, it's not 1912, but
I mean, we could see something similar to what happened. You remember when Mac Jones played Buffalo in Buffalo?
Oh, there was win that game too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was like a Monday night game. It was like 10-6 or something. It was ridiculous. If I remember, like the wind was like 40 miles per hour.
Mac Jones, I think, had like 4 passing attempts.
I do remember this.
I don't think he threw the ball in the first half. I don't think he had a single throw in the first half. Let's see. He had 3 attempts and 2 completions. It was 14-10.
Oh my God.
And
I feel like we watched that game live on the watch along when the live bet show. Is that am I mistaken or is that correct? I think we did.
I think we did. And
Oh
you
my
had an over of like 50 passing yards with Mac Jones. You're like, I just have to do this. I'm checking to see if he threw the ball at all in the first half.
I can't remember I remember I had some ridiculous over, and I think I had it on Josh Allen actually, and it didn't get there because Allen didn't do anything either. It was a horrific game.
Mac Jones had 1 pass for 12 yards in the first half.
What did Allen do? You have the full box score up?
Yeah, 1 second. It was Josh Allen, 15 attempts or 15 completions on 30 attempts, 145 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I might have like over 150 yards or something like that. I'm like, it's Josh Allen. This guy can cut the wind pretty easily, you know.
New England had 222 yards rushing.
Oh man, we've talked about it with Devin. Do we know when are we potentially gonna be doing a live betting show that the people probably
will. I mean,
I know you've been busy, obviously, and we're trying to find a good game.
We'll definitely have a few of them. We'll do some basketball. We'll do some football. I mean, it wouldn't be too tough for me and you just to hang out and gamble.
Yeah, like with the people want to hang out with us, and I'm just sort of floating the idea, let them know that it exists. We've done it before, and I'm sure your DMs are getting hammered with like what happened to that show. We enjoyed it too much. But just I was curious if that's happening again. But
yeah,
at some point I think it's going to happen. I'm just floating it out there, let people know that may exist at some point.
We were supposed to do it NBA opening night, but
yeah, I don't remember what happened. I think we had like too many shows going on or something like that.
There's too much stuff going on, and I had too much stuff going on. So
yeah,
I think we mentioned like I don't know if we should. I'm like, please don't, because I'm exhausted. the crossover with MLB, NHL, NFL, and NBA is just it's wild. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the gambling. So you want to do a movie bet? You can take the under on Tyler Hero.
I would take the over, not the under.
Yeah, sorry. I'll go against my under of Tyler Hero.
What was the number?
19.5.
Yeah, I think they're just really going to lean on him. That's a weird game because again, it's not a game that jumps off the table. It's like, well, we got to get some overs in Toronto and Miami. I just think that rotations get condensed, and I don't think we've seen Miami this thin all season long. Yeah, I will take some Hero over 19.5. I still owe you a movie.
Did I give you one?
Something in the Darkness or something like that.
Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I still have to see that.
It's great movie.
I gotta watch the last episode of the House of the Dragons, and I'm on Twitter, and I see trying to avoid spoilers. It's all these memes and gifs of like house, and I'm like, I recognize that character. I'm gonna move on.
Yep. And don't spoil anything for me. I'm still on episode 1, which I watched with you.
Yeah, you got to watch it again because you forgot everything. You got to start from the beginning. Trust me.
Yeah. All right. I'll figure out a show when you inevitably lose this bet because I'm a genius in the voiceover generation. So that's it. That's the show. Dean, thanks for joining me. We're out of here.